It isn't Chris Poulet in the Barnyard Ferrari. What's up, fucker?
Hello. How's everybody doing today?
That's a little aggressive, okay?
Alright.
Just tone it down a little bit. Try that again.
Excuse me?
That's too aggressive. Can you try it again? One more time.
Let's go!
Let's hear this thing. That's probably one of the best sounding cars. That's a full FI exhaust. So we did headers, straight pipe. There's no cats in that car, is there?
No cats.
Straight pipes, FI exhaust.
Yeah, I keep the valves closed all the time though.
Those valves were open just now, weren't they?
Yeah, they're open. Here, I'll show you the difference. Open. Closed.
We gotta rev it so we can hear the difference. That's closed?
That's closed.
Can you open them up?
Open.
There's a car louder than the Squadra Corsa. I think that's the loudest car. What do we have that are loud right now? That's probably the loudest car.
F12 was really loud.
Yeah, but it's gonna be different now with turbo. I mean, who knows what it'll sound like. The GT3 RS will have a full straight pipe soon. The CGT will be straight pipe soon. That'll be ridiculous. That'll scream.
Yeah.
They sound really good. Okay, we're gonna go film some shit. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Trying to sit here and enjoy our coffee right next to the speaker here at Starbucks. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's pretty intrusive.
I think we could make some fake orders.
Can I get a
Can I get a half sweet mocha grande, large?
Wait for it.
Wait for it. I'll do it. Her window's not down yet. I would like you to get.
Should we order people? You will get. We could do that, and then if you pay for it, they'll think it's funny. If we don't pay for it, they'll be offended.
So you put a total oat latte? Yeah. Awesome. Anything else for you?
Banana bread.
We haven't seen you in the videos in a while, Chris. Where you been?
I've been really busy lately, actually.
Doing what?
Working.
Oh, you work? I thought you had family money. You have a Ferrari.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Family doesn't pay to put tires on it.
What cars do you have right now? You got the Ferrari, the R35 you're gonna sell soon. What else you got?
E46 M3.
Yep.
Yeah, with red Imola interior. I don't know if you've seen one. You actually used to have one back in the day before you sold it. We actually had matching cars, but
I don't keep cars very long.
no. Kind of a sellout that way.
Chris never sells a vehicle. Every car he buys he keeps forever, where I have things for 6 months and get bored of it. You have cars from like, what's the longest you've owned a vehicle? Like, what do you have right now you've owned the longest amount of time?
Oh, I don't know.
The Dually?
Maybe the Dually. Maybe the truck. The Duramax Dually. You can't get rid of those.
No.
Especially with all the new modern emission stuff and whatnot.
New cars are better, but they suck.
Yeah.
New cars are much better. The new 488, or like now it's the F8 replaced the 488.
Oh, it would be way better.
It's way better, but it's not fun. It doesn't sound like that thing.
Not as fun.
Everything's so good now.
Actually, I do have a newer Duramax truck as well.
Yeah.
But I haven't got rid of the older Dually Duramax.
But isn't the new one always having issues with warranty on the emissions?
What do we got so far? We've had the heads-up display, bracket break inside, so that needed to get replaced. It was just shaking all over the place. We had the heater in the DEF tank. We needed to replace
all that emissions bullshit that ruins
and that was a big pain in the ass because that actually puts you into a limp mode. So it was actually down to 80 kilometers an hour. The truck wouldn't drive any.
That's dangerous.
Any faster than that. That was just the first level, I believe, and I guess it compounds on that. But yeah, I'd actually drop it off for about 3 weeks because they're on back order because everybody in the world that has them is having problems with them.
But do you know why we have all these things right now? Do you know why we're doing this, Chris?
Why?
I'll show you right now.
You tell me why.
So the sky stays blue, I think. Better politics. Or mind control.
It's true.
So I've told this story a few times, but I'll say it all in one section, so if you haven't heard it, you haven't heard it. Chris and I lived together when we were 18. We had it was in a fourplex. It was $400 a month. It was super cheap back then. This is 2002, 2003. And we thought, let's make some extra money. So we opened an automotive garage in our driveway, which was gravel. And we actually had paying customers. We would do like clutch jobs. We'd lower cars in our gravel driveway. And then there's a common area, a little, there's a storage shed thing in the front. But we knocked
like 3 by 8 or something.
Yeah, it was a good size. We knocked the lock off, put a padlock on it, and turned it into our tool shop. And then we got evicted.
Yeah.
And it's an illegal occupation of common area. We're trying to run a business.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was legit.
We were entrepreneurs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. We had permits. We had permits?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What we did have
I wrote
was
one up.
at
We've
the-
never submitted it anywhere. But I wrote it up.
At the end of every job, there'd be a pile of bolts left over. Remember that? Joey's girlfriend's car. That 94S had a clutch on it when it was
It's
done. It
called
had
weight reduction. We charged for that too.
The funny thing too is that we were so. This is what we have a lot in common. We were both so hungry to make money that we would spend a whole day, make $100 together, like $50 a day. Spend a whole day working on a car while working full time. So you kids out there that are lazy and won't go make money, toughen up. In fact, where's the Subway? Right over here. I'll show you something right now. That Subway over there, where is it? Right there. I used to clean those windows. I work a full shift at Starbucks. I get off at like 1:30 in the afternoon after working since 5, and I go clean all the Subways in town. And I get paid $40 per store. I could do a store in 20 minutes. So I go make a few $100 after work.
You know
That's
what
the
I'm doing
hustle.
still?
What are you doing still?
Still selling the nuts and bolts that we acquired over the years from the driveway.
Well, they're rare now because they're JDM. You've done some shitty jobs too, haven't you?
Some shitty jobs? Oh yeah. We worked in that sweat factory. You remember that?
When we were in high school, we got $6
yeah.
an hour making cedar reefs for this lady, cash, super illegal. And this is real. Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. to midnight, 40 hours a week. While in high school, we would go work at, we call it the sweatshop because we got $6 an hour, and that was like,
Cash.
nobody knew about it. We had a secret entrance because she didn't want to pay her taxes. This is
Yeah.
when we were in high school.
Well, we would put an 8-hour shift in after school during high school,
Yeah.
just so we could pay for gas for the car.
Gas for the cars, for Sony speakers.
Yeah, Sony 6x9s, 10-inch kicker subs all over the place,
Yep.
like littered in our trunks.
Yep.
The Topaz, it had 4 of them in there. It sounded like ass.
In fact,
But-
while we're on the stories here, the worst, I think the dumbest thing, he knows where we're going with this. He had a Mercury Topaz his mom sold him, didn't give him, he bought it off her. Sick car. We installed a loudspeaker. I had my neighbor owned a security company, so we had a loudspeaker. We installed it in the front bumper, and we found a way of connecting it to the CD player, and then we got, this is before
You know how we
iPhones.
connected it? Hold on, I gotta tell you how we connected it. So I connected it to one of the front speakers. So just the left, say, front speaker. So when I wanted to listen to music normally, we just listened to the rear, so it would shut off the front speaker and not run the loudspeaker.
the fader. You'd use the fader.
Yes,
So-
yes, use the fader.
Well, we found a song, because again, there was no, were iPods out yet? No, iPods weren't out yet. So to get music, you had to buy CDs or burn CDs. So we found a song that had police sirens in it, and we put it on a loop or something like that. I can't remember how we did it. Anyways, we would 100% pull people over.
Yes, we would. I don't know how we get in more trouble.
Now, there's a statute of limitations, I think it's 7 years, so I don't think we go to jail for this. But we would drive around with our buddies, and we'd pull people over and then take off. It was a
terrible.
different time.
You just keep flashing the high beams and throw the sirens on, everybody pulls over.
There's a kid from our high school that's walking with a 40 of OE. And I put the siren on, he threw it. He was so mad because he wasted his beer. We were shitheads. That was shit. That would have been late 90s, so 22 years ago. And now the world's so sensitive, you can't do anything stupid. And you shouldn't have back then either, as a B. But we got away with it. And now we can laugh about it because we never hurt anybody who went to jail. Did you ever go to jail? You went to jail for a little bit, didn't you, Chris?
No, I was never in jail.
I tell people that, though. So that 1,000-yard stare in his eyes right now. Chris is a really talented automotive photographer. If you go to his Instagram, you'll see the quality of his photos. It's all about having the wrong lighting and like.
It's about a raw
I want to picture the car. He's a picture of this.
Hey, I don't use filters.
We were just doing a little video for Facebook comparing these two cars. And while we're here, while I have you guys on the Stories channel, assume this is a base model Gallardo. These cars would be worth about the same, about 100,000 US, maybe a bit more, a bit less, depending on where you live, market, mileage, yada, yada, yada. What would you take? Would you take a LP Gallardo, 560 horsepower, or would you take the 430 with just under 500 horsepower? V8, V10, they're both flappy paddles. This is F1 transmission, that's E-gear. Chris, what would you take?
I'd take both.
You
No,
greedy
you can't
son
have
of a
both.
bitch.
You can't have both.
Here, don't sneeze without napkins. Kleenex. By the way, show the audience, that's prop money. We use this for little skits. In case you're wondering. Otherwise, we'll look like a complete asshole. There was the SR, I was tipping everybody. I was walking around tipping Ray. Ray doesn't like that.
Ray could use the extra cash.
Maybe, you really could.
Good.
But yeah, it's funny because what's cool now is you can get one of those and one of those for 100,000. This is US dollars.
Oh, for sure.
Which is a crazy amount for what you get. And the new stuff obviously is a lot more, but it's not the same car. It's all for the most part. I mean, the Huracan's cool because the Huracan's still NA, but I'm pretty confident, based on no knowledge and only opinion and assumptions, that the Huracan replacement will be a twin-turbo V8. Urus engine.
Yeah.
Emissions, ruling, all that stuff, performance numbers.
Especially what Lamborghini likes to go with the big engine. And then with turbos just to
well, if they want to protect having the V12, because every auto manufacturer gets one level of EPA for MPG, pardon me. So they all have to use a certain amount. So a lot of times we'll have efficient vehicles to have one badass vehicle. So to save the V12, they might have to kill the V10. Which what will happen to all the V10s when that happens? The price will go up.
What about the V8s?
Sure.
What up, everybody? It's late. It is 9:29. I'm having a drink. I don't know why I've got my goblet. I guess I feel like a king. And with my plastic, this should be gold or something, with like jewels on it. And it's plastic.
It's also a plastic patio cup.
Patio lantern. Okay, anyhow. We're gonna do something fun. All right, everybody always asks me all these questions about everything, anything to do with like my past or my goals of the future. And I had a ton of photos from my mom and my dad that they had obviously collected over the years of when I was a young buck, a kid. And I thought I'd share some of them with you because you might get a kick out of them. I get a kick out of looking at some of these. And we're gonna start with quite literally, I said literally, the photo of when I was born.
It's a mean mug.
That's a mean muggin'. That is Damon, bam, right when I was born. That's it. You get that one?
You were overdue. You were like...
I was a late baby. I was.
And that has carried on into your adulthood.
Right? Late with everything. There's me actually smiling. I don't know what's with the get up back then, but baby.
Everyone needs a
pair of overalls,
a
wool sweater and overalls.
onesie.
Awful. I would have survived had I gotten lost in the woods. That's the same one. Here's a fun family photo. This is my mom, my dad, me and my sister. Or I should say my sister and I. That'd be proper. So there's us. The fam jam back in the day. My dad was quite the guy. He had
Very
very dapper, yeah. Had the suit on.
Staff.
So like I said, my mom and dad both were in the hospitality industry. My mom met when my mom came from Switzerland, and she got her job serving in the restaurant inside the big hotel my dad managed at the time in North Vancouver down at the Lonsdale Quay. And she kept screwing up his breakfast order. And he was the manager. And he was like, not the manager of the restaurant. He had to go, he was like, I think the general manager. He went and spoke to the restaurant manager and was like, why you got this woman working here? She can't barely speak English. She keeps screwing up my order. I think I'm gonna have to fire her. And well, we all know that didn't happen. Damon in pajamas. Now, if you don't know, I do have like kind of curly, wavy hair. That's it right there, and it lives on to this day. I have a cowlick here and a cowlick at the back of my head, and I basically always keep my hair short. I'm overdue for a haircut. So we're going through the program. I'm skipping a couple of years here because we don't need to be here all night. Yup, school photos.
They end there. Just kidding.
Hey, look at that. Got the collar out and everything. What do you think, wifey?
So cute. That's where Tyler must get her blonde hair.
Right? Yeah, I was blonde, blue eyes when I was young. Then that all changed. I don't have blue eyes anymore. They're kind of greenish. Little older. Started to grow the hair out. Hey?
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like there's a rat tail behind that.
Rat tail. And I have some fun photos over here I can show you guys. So when I was young, I was into swimming, My parents had the pool at the motel, the Timber Lodge in Port Alberni. And so I like swimming and stuff like that. And then I used to ride my bike. I love biking. So I'll show you some cool photos. And then I got into sports. I eventually played soccer for quite a number of years. I wanted to play hockey, but my parents were like, it's too expensive. So I never got to do hockey. I was like, I want a motorcycle. But they're like, it's too expensive. It's too dangerous. So I never got to ride a motorcycle. I did all that later on. I rebelled once I had my own money and could do my own things. I went and got my motorcycle license and did all that stuff. Me, Superman, Tash.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
Right? Probably the cutest I've ever looked.
Yeah.
At any year.
Yeah.
At any age. That's pretty much the cutest Damon picture you got right there. Where my smile's actually straight there. I don't know what happened.
It's very authentic.
Yeah. I thought that was actually a pretty good picture of myself.
I like the one there with the hat and the sunglasses that you're gonna get to.
Hat and the sunglasses. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
I used to play soccer. This is the sport I played for the longest time. There's me in my little soccer outfit with my soccer ball. This is actually standing in the restaurant at the Timber Lodge, at my parents' restaurant. In the back there, I was either coming or going to soccer. I don't know which one. I should almost, I think I need to make this my profile picture. That is the cutest photo of me ever. Doesn't get any better than that. Oh man, me. My parents have like super OG, like you can tell too what era the photos came from based on like the style of the actual photography. And I'm gonna get to some of these, but look at this one. Look how small and old this photo is. Kind of crazy, kind of crazy. There's my whole soccer team. Apparently we were all blonde. Like the whole soccer team is blonde. What the heck?
You're like Norwegian or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're all European kids. Again, you gotta remember my background is European. My dad's side of the family, if you go back before Canada, they were English, and my mom is Swiss. So there's a cute little photo. So you want to talk about my entrepreneurial days. Where do I get my entrepreneurial spirit from? It's definitely from my parents. I've never seen my parents work for anybody else. My parents have always had their own businesses. And so when I was young, I used to like to play business at my parents' businesses. So this is me answering the phone, I think at the motel. Holiday Inn, motel. That's me answering the phone. That's quite a snazzy little jacket, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah.
I might have to bring that one back. Might be a
I think Dave owns one of those.
might be a DD merch item later on. And here's me running the cash register. Got to make sure the cash is right. Ching, ching, ching. So that's me goofing off running the cash. I was too young to know probably what money really meant. This is the photo I was looking for in the stories from, I think, yesterday or the day before. When I was making the breakfast and I was making eggs and I was talking about how I like to cook. I don't love it, but I do like it and I do know how to cook because I've been cooking since I was just a little kid. So there's me. So picture this. I'm standing in a restaurant in the kitchen on a greasy floor on a chair over top of a flat grill that's super hot with an apron on, which is probably super flammable from back then. And my parents were like, yeah, just stand there. Go ahead, take a photo. Anyhow, that's me cooking, standing on the chair, kind of fun. So where do we go from here? There's some photos of me from born to things like that. Sports, like I said, soccer. I did ski for a little bit, but guess what I got to do? I've been around since snowboarding was invented. And I had a Kemper snowboard, like as soon as snowboarding came out, and I rode a Kemper snowboard, and that was a lot of fun. And I've been snowboarding ever since, never went back to skiing. But this is me with my dad's ski gear on. Like, this is my dad's ski gear in our house. These are kind of cute. Here's me cooking again. So like I said, I have a sibling, my sister Athena. There's Athena and I, we're on the grill. That was a thing we did a lot.
That's the one from last night.
Yeah. Yeah, so we did a lot of cooking and things like that for fun. Birthday parties, right? My sister and I were close when we were young. We're not super close now, but we still keep in touch. She lives on the island. She has 2 kids. They're adorable. But look, this is me and Athena. As kids, we loved each other. We still love each other. It's just, you know, you get older and busy in life and your own families and COVID and all that sort of stuff. And we will be back to hang out with Athena and the kids soon. But these are some fun photos of us, just Athena and I hanging out. Like I said, when you grow up with a sibling, you know, when you don't have your friends over and it's after school or whatever, like you hang out with that person. So we have tons of awesome photos of Athena and I hanging out, doing just about everything you can imagine together, dressed up. There's Damon as James Bond as a kid. James Bond. That's actually a pretty cute picture of me too, a bow tie. So anyhow, we got all these photos. Now these are kind of cute. This is us. I can hear Presley calling you. Presley, you're supposed to be going to sleep. See, Dave and I both deal with this, where the kids don't want to go to sleep and they fight us. We'll put Presley to sleep and then she'll be like, Dad, Mom, I need a drink of water. I'm kind of hungry. I need to go pee. Like, they just drag bedtime out, which is cute, which we all did as kids. Check this out. This is us roasting marshmallows in our, that's right, wood fireplace inside our house. And I remember growing up having 1 or 2 chimney fires and having the fire department come to our house. We lived life a lot more dangerously back then. That's my mom. And got some other great photos of my mom and my sister and I. So my mom lived in Switzerland most of her life and then left in her 20s and then lived in Canada for 26 years. And eventually, this is my sister and I on one of the patios of one of the motel rooms. We were probably, I don't know, hanging out. That was the perks of having a family that had a motel and a restaurant, is like my lifestyle was super privileged in that sense because I could almost eat whatever I wanted. We had pop on tap in the bar. We had a pool. We had these motel rooms, and it's a motel. It's not a hotel. It's not like some big fancy. I'm not like, my family's not like the Hiltons or anything like that. But we had a really good upbringing. We were very, very privileged in that sense. What other stuff can I show you? Me cooking more. I'm telling you, I was always on this flat top cooking stuff all the time. Okay, these photos, we'll skip those ones. Let's get into a couple of photos of, here I am with my dad, getting older. I have some great photos of my dad. You know, my dad was big into hiking and doing outdoor stuff, and I got a lot of that from him into my late teens and early 20s. And I went and started doing outdoorsy stuff. And my dad dragged me out to do the West Coast Trail, which is a trail that runs 75 kilometers along the most treacherous side of, which is the west side of Vancouver Island. And it's known as the graveyard of the Pacific because of all the dangerous shoreline, the tides and the weather would change all the time. So there's a lot of ships that have crashed along that side of the coast of Canada. And anyhow, there's a trail that runs along the coast, and it's 75 kilometers long. And it usually takes about 6 days to do, 7 if you're really cruising and just enjoying time everywhere. If you really want to hustle, you could do it in 5 or 4. Some people run the damn thing, which those people are nuts. And I got into hiking and stuff because my dad and my Uncle Paul dragged me out to the West Coast Trail when I was like 13, I believe. And to kind of be like, to initiate my manhood, to hang out with them, they dragged me out there and we did this hike over like 6 or 7 days. And, you know, in the beginning I was kind of like whining. My dad always talks about this. Hiking in the sand was hard. You got to carry your own pack with all your gear. And the first day I was kind of like, oh, are we there yet? How long? How much further? And by the end of the trip, I was contributing to like cooking, you know, for my dad and my Uncle Paul. And they would show me how to do things and how to survive in the wild. And it was cool. It was like a really becoming a man. And from that, I started hiking. And so I have some fun photos of back in the day when, you know, I was in my late teens, early 20s, and I started mountaineering. I was into rock climbing, ice climbing. I did all sorts of fun stuff. Climbed all sorts of mountains. You can see me here about to rappel down some rocks. I spent a lot of time in nature, and I really enjoyed it. And I did a lot of cool stuff with a lot of cool friends. Here you can see me kind of coming up there over the rocks. This is like a big mountain. Like, this is a big gully, snow in the background. It's really steep. Anyhow, fun photos of me just out in the wild, hiking and doing things. And this is probably one of my favorite photos of all time. This one is me standing on one part of the summit of Mount Aerosmith, and I was heading to the other peak. So you can see me chilling, all proud. And then you actually have to clear, let me hold this. See right here, you actually climb up this. So you climb down here and then you climb up this. It's really steep, it's like straight up. And you rock climb all this and up and over and across to the summit. I did that several times, just right in my backyard. A lot of good times. I actually slept up here one night with one of my best friends, Richard. It was scary as shit. I don't know why, but we had this crazy storm, and Richard and I decided to bring this book about the super tragic year 1996 at Everest. I wanted to climb Everest when I was young. I was like gonna climb Everest. And we read this book at this bad snowstorm when we slept at the top of the mountain in the middle of this anyhow. And we were reading it, we were so freaked out because our tent was like blowing over from like 100-kilometer plus winds. And we read this book about how all these people died up in Everest this one year. And anyhow, it wasn't Everest. We're only at like 6,800 feet or something in the air. So what else can I show you? These are all kind of fun. So then, of course, life changes when you have kids. And I have photos of me when I'm a very young dad. That would be me and Mia. So that's Mia, who you now know, who, by the way, has a birthday coming up. May 1st, Mia will turn, holy shit, 19.
Look out.
Legal drinking age here in Canada, in BC. So my little girl, who I've nurtured all these years and tried to protect the best that I can, this is us hanging out back when I would have been 23, 24. Pretty fun. I got pictures of Tyla and I too. Oh, here's a cute one of Tyla and I. Tyla's probably about 3 here. Little sweetie. Tyla was the cutest little munchkin with blonde hair, curly blonde hair, bright blue eyes. Me and the girls hanging out. I don't know what was up with those sunglasses. I think they were trendy back then. Me and my girls in Victoria hanging out. Got some fun ones of just the girls. They're a riot. They grew up so fast. Holy crap. Time flies. So then you have kids, and then you have more kids. And the next thing you know, you got a whole shabam family, and you're doing Christmas photos for everybody. This is, I kid you not, you guys, this is how life goes. You're making Christmas card photos. You're like, this is this year's Christmas card, honey. This is it. This is what we're sending to everybody. The whole family's getting one of these. There's wifey and I and the 2 girls. And then Presley comes along.
That's a good one. There's another one.
And Santa. Which one? This one? Yeah, this one's really sweet. Presley on the bike with the girls and a nutcracker. Yeah. So, it just goes on and on and on. Like, here's me at my dad's place with the girls. I'm apparently trying to do a phone call, and I'm holding Eric, my nephew. This is my sister's little boy. He ain't so little anymore. Eric's getting big now. He was into breakdancing and all sorts of cool stuff. Man, this stuff just goes, look at how many photos I have here, you guys. I have stacks of photos that I could show you. Like, pick any of them. Snowman. You know, here's Athena and I swimming in the pool. I told you we had a pool. There's me, water wings. Apparently didn't know how to swim at the time. My parents were worried I was going to drown.
We don't have any developed photos because, then we went into that era where
Everything was digital.
no one developed pictures anymore.
Yeah, it was all digital.
Yeah.
My grandma, this is my dad's mom. She recently passed away in the last few years. She lived to almost she was 103. She almost lived to be 104. Amazing woman. She every time I talk to her, she'd be, Damon, I love you. Don't do drugs. Didn't matter how old I was. Like, Grandma, I don't do drugs. Okay, just want to make sure. Every time. She's the sweetest lady. My mom. Oh, pajamas. You want to know what I rocked for pajamas when I was a kid? I was big into Superman. That's why the Superman shirt on over there. I got Superman pajamas.
You have a photo of you at Halloween as Clark Kent with a Superman.
That's right, with Tyla.
Yeah.
So I was Clark Kent with the Superman shirt, pulling it open when I was like an adult with Tyla. So Superman's kind of been like, ironically, someone I've always loved. I also love Batman. Batman's super badass. So I have all these crazy photos. I could go on and on and on. I wish I could show you guys more, but I think I've ran this out long enough. I'll leave it with this one. My very first time going to Disneyland, my dad took us. So my mom and dad split up. My parents are divorced. I came from a divorced family. What I can tell you about that is, it didn't really affect me. I don't know. I didn't really care anything from it. I know some people have a real hard time with it. I think if you just learn to understand that, like, your parents are individual people and not everybody sees eye to eye and not everything always works out. So that is what it is. When I became an adult and I had kids and my first relationship didn't work out, I understood a lot better. But check this out. Going back to my dad took us to Disneyland for the first time. And there were these Oakley sunglasses I had to have. And my dad never spent any money for the most part. If we asked him for something, he was like, no. He was giving. He'd give us stuff once in a while. But like, he was like, my dad was a naturalist. He wasn't like the coolest dad. He was like cool if your dad was from the 60s, but then not cool because I wanted motorcycles and stuff that he just didn't understand. But check this out. He took us to Disneyland, which was super cool, Dad, by the way. Thank you very much. First time ever going to Disneyland, and I wanted these Oakleys, and he bought them for me. I talked him into it. And these were the coolest. Look how cool I look. I felt like the coolest kid on the block with these Oakleys. They're called like frog skins or something, I think. They had the cool iridium lenses. This like just came out. Oakley like hit the scene with this. These were like the hottest things in the market. And I'm in the back of my dad's van. We drove down and we drove back. This is obviously us driving back. And I'm chilling on the back seat, just like, life's good. I got my Oakleys. I'm the coolest kid on the block. All right, guys. Holy crap, I've been talking for 22 minutes. If you lasted this long, you know a lot more about me than most people know. And that goes for even some of my closest friends. So I will now no longer tell this story. I will redirect them and tell them to click the link in the description if they want to know more about me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have an amazing night. Peace.